The Fire Store, equipping protectors with passion. Every decision the Fire Store makes as a company is about its customers. As the holiday season has quickly approached, explore a wide selection of unique and practical gifts at the Fire Store's gift center. Find the perfect presents for firefighters, EMTs, and first responders today. The Fire Store's goal is to get you the gear you need when you need it at prices you can afford. Visit thefirestore.com for everything but the truck and shop its family of brands including Streamlight, MSA, Lion, Fleer, and more.
Breathing in diesel exhaust fumes is like walking into a fire without a mask. Over time, those toxins lead to cancer. Protect yourself with MagneGrip, the easiest, most reliable exhaust removal system that features a true 100% seal to eliminate diesel exhaust fumes. To get free grant assistance, visit MagneGrip.com.
Sons of the Flag Radio is brought to you by Fire Engineering Blog Talk Radio. Quick overview of Sons of the Flag. We were founded in 2012 to support just one burn survivor, and Sons of the Flag has evolved into a nonprofit organization that is fully committed to revolutionizing burn care for veterans, first responders, and civilian burn survivors by providing funding for innovative research, fellowship for doctors to further their training in treating burn survivors, and support for those impacted by a traumatic burn. We are at the forefront of advancing burn technologies and advancements in surgical procedures, and we address needs for every age group, ethnicity, and geographic location within the United States. To that end, Sons of the Flag brings together pioneering physicians who are leaders in their field, experienced military service members, dedicated first responders, passionate civilians, and burn survivors to complete this mission. So over the last 10 years, now we're in our 11th year, Sons of the Flag has partnered with prominent burn units throughout the country, including UT Southwestern and Parkland Hospital right here in Dallas, Texas, Johns Hopkins Burn Center in Baltimore, Maryland, DuPont Children's Hospital in Wilmington, Delaware, Brigham and Women's Hospital at Harvard University in Boston, the Legacy Oregon Burn Center in Portland, University of South Florida, Tampa General Burn Unit, Bay Pines, Florida, VA, and Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. We communicate with doctors, nurses, social workers, and child life specialists who request on behalf of their patients vary, and the requests on behalf of the patients vary according to each burn survivor's situation. And so now you get to see us. I'm going to go ahead and lead us into a fallen tribute to our fallen last firefighters since our last show, which I think was back in October. So take a moment of silence for these guys. Adam Hart, Timothy Johnson, Cameron Craig, Rodney Pitts III, Colin Reedy, Anthony Hoffman, Dylan Ronaldo, Regino Huffman, Joseph Back, David Phelps, Thomas Petschke Jr., Andrew Price, Justin Bauer, Daniel Potts, John Norris, and Matthew Dawson. Let's take a moment of silence for them.
And every single time you read that list, I just want it to end after the last name. Every single time.
We're at only 70. I hate to say that but we're at 78 fatalities in 2023. And I mean, granted, we've got a few more weeks. It'd be nice to see us not touch
don't do anything else, anybody. Golly, everybody's gonna be lighting the Christmas trees and all that jazz. Please keep an eye on your Christmas trees, for the love of God.
Yeah, we just came out of Fire Prevention Month in October, and that's just kind of the forefront of our message throughout the fire service is, fire prevention, keeping ourselves safe. Us as first responders, sometimes we're our own worst enemies because we do some stuff that is not the brightest, but, the things that we cannot control is obviously traffic and then some of the incidents that we respond to, with traffic fatalities being some of the biggest contributors to our injuries and deaths. Just keep your head on a swivel this holiday season. I want you guys to all go home to your family, be with your families, and enjoy this time with each other. And let us reconvene back in 24. But today's show, Landon reached out and thought this would be a good time just to kind of recap what Sons of the Flag has done this past year. 11th year.
It's been an intense year, man.
It's been a very, very intense year. And then, we're going to be starting our 12th year come this next year. and we're progressing forward. And that's the wild thing. We still, even with the whole COVID, everything that you can think of that happened during that time frame, we never once saw a reduction in force. We saw actually increase in need for services. And so what we've been able to do these last several years is it's just absolutely astonishing, truly mind-blowing. And I'm not just speaking just because I'm here, but I'm speaking of it because I've seen it firsthand what it's been doing.
Well, one of the wild things that, and maybe this is also in, standard business practice and stuff like that, but typically you're working off the money that you've made from the year before. And so we're still working on that, kind of COVID budget that we had to deal with, 2020, 2021. And we saw a nice influx, and it's really been incredible to see how Sherry's been able to maintain our position as a leading, burn survivor, nonprofit, and being able to help these individuals. I mean, we put somebody through the Mission Reconstruct Freedom and Todd Hornbuckle, full facial reconstruction, surgery. That's to be able to. I can't express how thankful we are for every single dollar that comes in and how much support that we've had, and especially with all the different tough times. We know that inflation has kicked everybody's ass, and the fact that people are still coming out to support us and donate is, it's heartwarming, and it's extreme. It's humbling. It really is humbling.
And, I kind of want to highlight that because we talked about the money raised, and I think I think I've talked about this before. Sometimes people get nervous about donating to charities, about what's your money actually going to? Is it going to be political, or is it really going to who you're saying you're raising money for? And that's where I can say that Sons truly does set itself apart. And there's a lot of other great charities out there that do the same thing. I'm not trying to knock anything, but we have a list on our website at sonsoftheflag.org that you can actually go see where each dollar you donate goes to. I'm going to highlight a couple real quick. Just $50 is a meal while traveling. That's huge. Lodging for a night for $175, and then $2,500 will fund an entire family to be with their loved one during the reconstruction process. And so, over the last several years, we've raised over $6 million. We've awarded also $500,000 worth of scholarship fellowship funds, which means that we're putting burn doctors into this profession. Right? We've always been at a low number of actually burn doctors in this field, and now we've funded over $500,000 worth of fellowships to get these doctors in these critical areas, because burns are going up. Burns are going to keep happening. They're always going to happen. They're not going away. Especially with this new lithium ion craze. Everybody's got scooters, cars inside their houses. It's just going to get worse. And I hate saying that, but that's just the reality of it. And so you guys, if y'all are ever encountering anybody or yourself or know of anybody that needs assistance, tell them to go to our website at sonsoftheflag.org. We have a breakdown of everything monetarily, what we can do and what we fund. And then one of the other things that we always do is we do events, and events are some of our biggest fundraisers. And I think, Lane kind of hit this. We have some of the most generous and gracious donors I've ever seen. And not just once, but they're continued donors. We love people that are able to donate once or twice, but we love the continual donors. That's what really helps us. I'm doing this for free. The entire task force is doing this for free. I mean, Langdon's the only one I think that gets paid, but just because he's got to live.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not
a crazy amount either.
And
we want to force as much money to go back to, everybody at the nonprofit is a 1099. None of us are employees. We make money and by doing a lot of other stuff on the side. This is nobody's only gig. And one of the reasons of that is so we can, make sure that the funding is going to the necessary places. I mean, and a new announcement, we're not going to have an office anymore. We've talked about it for a couple of years now. Everything that I do, I can do from home. Sherry, the same way. It sucks that we're not going to have our podcast studio, but we can do it like this if we need to. And if we ever need to link up, I've learned how to make the podcast portable. But it's one of those, it's one of those decisions that's additional monthly money that can go to help another burn survivor. And we can stop having to spend it on this office that's just storing stuff. We can spend $300 a month on storage and we're fine.
Yeah, because I mean, hell, even I'm storing some of the stuff in my own house now to
Yeah.
kind of reduce the cost. And like I said, we're not doing this because we're losing money. We're doing this because we want to make sure that every penny goes to where it's supposed to. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I want to talk real quick about kind of the task force. I think the task force again has been just absolutely instrumental in our overall success. So every
Yeah.
single one of our members have some sort of role in the success of this, this organization. And I think it's important that we highlight their contributions. Greg's done a phenomenal job all year. Greg Turnell, if you don't know him, he is like the man, the myth, and the legend. All three. He's not just the man, the myth, the legend. He's and the legend. But
That's a fact. Love you,
Greg,
Greg.
yeah, Greg's. And I think we hit a big milestone with him this year. He got an iPhone, right? So that's huge. And
That- if you don't know Greg, yes, that's massive. That's massive.
11 years later, we got the iPhone. He can actually send.
I would have gone for
emails.
Samsung, but I'm just glad that he's able to send emails and take pictures and all that kind of stuff of the events.
Right.
His phone now.
Yeah, he doesn't have to pull the antenna out, walk around
FDIC
trying to find everybody.
And he probably can't kill anybody with it. That's not Nokia. Definitely could have bricked somebody in the head.
Oh my God, yeah, boat anchors is what I call them. No, I think it's important that we highlight these guys because these guys have put on events for our organization. In Utah, we had the shoot, that Zach got to go to. Got the custom-made rifle. Stuff like that is massive. It's huge, and with Sheena doing the shoot here in town, and drawing the money, and then obviously Stars and Stripes Festival and all the other stuff, the Country for Country.
Yeah.
It's been busy. Like I feel bad for you and Sherry once August hits because I know life doesn't slow down until about January, and you get that small reprieve.
You are not lying. Well, and we've talked about. I would love to do something. And hopefully we can get this going next year. If we can't get it going next year, then we'll get it going the year after that. And I'm obviously being this, we'll get your help. And if anybody listening has any ideas, we want to do something for the firefighters again. We used to have the Red River.
Yeah, Red River
Throwdown and stuff like that. And we used to be able to have parties and giveaways for the firefighters. Mm-hmm. And it was primarily because of COVID, cut a lot of that out. But getting back into the swing of those things has been really difficult. We, Sherry and I have talked in depth. We want to do something for our firefighters. We want to be able to have y'all out, let the sponsors pay for the shit and y'all come out and just have a good night and maybe fly in some people from some of the task force in from around the country and hell, maybe get them on a podcast and talk about everything going on with them. But there's so much while we do a lot from August to January, there's other things that we can do and we're hoping to really kickstart and get back into gear of getting our head focused where it used to be.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome because I know you've already got my wheels starting to spin up here with some of the cool things that we can do. And I think it's important that we do highlight all those individuals that are behind the scenes.
No.
Truly working day in and day out on their off days or, even when they're at station in a downtime, but, that's what I loved about the Red River Throwdown when we did it, like you said, COVID kind of put a huge damper on that. That was the last time we did it was in 2020. And it was a huge success. I mean, I think we raised $3,000 or something like that for Sons. And that was huge. Again, going back to what that pays for, that's 3 air travel tickets for a patient and a caregiver. So that's 6 people that get to travel. So that's where that money goes to. And to know that when you raise that money and it stays in your local jurisdiction is even more important, right? If you're going to raise something for your area hospital, that money is going to be earmarked for them if that's what you're trying to do. We're not going to send it back down here to Dallas. If you're raising money for a specific group or a specific person or hospital, it's going to stay with you. That money is going to be sent to them, not to us.
And it should be noted that the Red River didn't just raise $3,000. That's how many people went, but the people there who donated during the event and gave during the event and shared with other people, and the people that we were able to meet that ended up becoming sponsors and stuff like that. I mean, that 3,000 easily went from 3 to 15 because of those connections and because people were like, oh wow, this is this is a cool event. This is what this does, and this is what this organization does. Let me share it with all of my followers, and let's see if we can't, knock something else out of the park.
And I want to say, if I remember correctly, we might have had a task force member or two actually come out of those types of trainings.
Oh yeah.
So they got to see the message because Bird came out and was out there for just a little. No, he didn't get to come out to that one. It was
He came to one of them.
Yeah, I think it was the first one he came
one.
to. Because when we did the after party at the Lava Cantina,
so
we had to do the gun raffle and all that stuff.
Well, in the gun raffle, I mean, the gun raffle raised about $10,000 for us. So and that raffle that rifle for the raffle was donated. So so I mean, again, it's like we what I think the tickets were like $50 or 75. It's wasn't super expensive. So I mean, you take that, put it into 3,000, and then everything on top of it, and all the different raffle tickets that we sold. It was a super success, and to have everybody in one room and from the Sun's perspective to be able to show our appreciation to all the firefighters for what they do was massive.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool, and I know it's been on my mind to try to do something again. Just trying to make it happen. Sometimes these events take a little bit of extra effort, and so if anybody's willing to host an event like this.
Or know somebody. Yep.
Yeah. You can reach out to me, or even Chad does a lot with setting up those types of events too. So you can reach out to Chad at sonsoftheflag.org. If you're looking to set up some sort of training event, he can definitely help out in that capacity, or reach out to me at Justin at sonsoftheflag.org, or any of our task force members. We'll be glad to set something up for you guys.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Get some training, because we partner up with the Fools. I'm our Fools president for the Heart of Texas Fools. And we have a great relationship with the Fools International, FDIC. We have a great relationship with everybody. And I think it's important that we build those relationships and bring the masses to Sons of the Flag. That's how we get our word out. And, I'm so thankful for Billy Laguerre and all of them up in Indy. They welcome us every year, and they just take such great care of us and really get our Sons of the Flag mission out. And that's, unfortunately, losing Bobby this past year was a huge blow to our organization too, because Bobby did so much for Sons of the Flag. He gave us that platform at FDIC and allowed us to get into the training realm and to start raising money through those who are trying to help, right? The easiest way to prevent burns and to save individuals is to provide that proper training, right? Education is sometimes the forefront of keeping people safe. That's why we have Fire Prevention Month. But if we host these types of training events, then it's that much better, because we're getting that information out there. We're getting it to the younger guys, but also we're introducing Sons of the Flag. We want those guys that are going to be vested into us, because we're going to just invest right back into you, but to have some sort of vested interest in us and really help push this mission forward, partner up with, with local guys in your area, partner up with your local, your local chapters, right? There's so much you could do, from just being just a firefighter, right? Being a part of this organization and helping us out, but again, raising money for those that need it the most, and I think that's the most important thing, is being there for everybody during those difficult times. And
well, I want to highlight something. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and Bemis, you can probably tell this story a little bit better than me. I want to show everybody Todd Hornbuckle.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Can.
Okay, so this gentleman right here has just a wild story. Bemis, you're a better storyteller than I am if you want to run through it.
Yeah, so he was flying, I believe in Taylor, Texas. They were flying from Corpus to Taylor, and Todd is obviously a very well-known U-2 bomber pilot. And he was flying a little private airplane, and with him and his daughter. And as they were flying, I think they were getting close to landing out in Taylor, and they ended up crashing. Well, he knew that his plane was going down. And if you read the story and go read the NTTA, not the NTTA, the FAA reports on the incident, it shows that Todd knew that his plane was going down. And so his job was, one, to get the plane back working again. But two, if the plane wasn't going to be functional, he was going to somehow save his daughter. And as the plane crashed, he pretty much, in a sense, kind of pushed his daughter out of the plane, and she avoided all injuries. I think she still had to go to the hospital for some small stuff, but she sustained non-life-threatening injuries, whereas Todd suffered second and third degree burns over a good portion of his body, especially to his face. And for the longest time, 50% burned, 50% to his body. And that's just the initial burn. And that doesn't account for the continual burn, which we learned through Zach's story. But the flames were all around his face and all of his upper body.
And he shielded his daughter.
He shielded his daughter, got her out of the airplane, and
took on the entire brunt of it. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it allows me, if we can hear this. Let's see if we can watch this real quick.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones that I did watch. So
can you hear that, Bemis?
No, I cannot.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can. Not fully functioning in Zoom.
No, you're good.
It's not a long one, so we'll just. Yeah. So this plane crashes, and Todd Hornbuckle has been a pilot for decades and decades.
I mean, he flew U-2 planes that land on a single wheel nearly.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to have a special chase car to help land and all that, and so he's a seasoned pilot, and this accident really impacted him. And the fact that he saved his daughter and shielded her from all pain and suffering is what's even more amazing. Because if you listen to his story when he spoke at Stars and Stripes luncheon, he was telling us that him and his daughter walked half a mile, if not a mile and a half down the road.
Yeah, and his friend ended up finding him on the side of the road because he saw the smoke.
Yes, they saw the smoke because they knew something wasn't right. And I forgot what terms he used to describe it, but basically, in a sense, his flesh was coming off his face. Yeah, his flesh was just falling off. And he was in shock, so he was in pain, but it wasn't what you would expect until I think he says the last things he was talking to was the paramedics, and that's when the pain hit, and basically life changed for him at that moment.
Well, let's highlight something.
Yeah,
he did not. Now I just need to figure out how to turn this damn thing off. He didn't see his face.
Yes.
He didn't look at himself in the mirror for I don't even know how long, but I just imagine this happens to you and you refuse to look at yourself in the mirror. And it wasn't until Sons of the Flag stepped in and figured out how to do this surgery that he was, that he had, I don't know what you would call it. Just the I can't imagine not be like looking at yourself in the mirror and it's not you.
Yeah. He wouldn't look at himself in the mirror because he was afraid of what he would kind of see. He didn't like what he was going to see. And that's part of the healing process when it comes to some of this stuff is the shame and the guilt. But I think the magical thing is he helped Zach when Zach had his problem.
Yeah. Him and Zach were at the same house.
They were together, and that's how they got introduced to this organization. And Todd's story is just absolutely mind blowing because we're going to have him on the show. So I want to kind of let y'all know we want to have
plan for that as the beginning of next year.
Yeah, because the story that I'm telling is not as detailed and as memorable as he's going to say it. But what we're trying to say is, Mission Reconstruct Freedom was life-changing for him because he looks at himself in the mirror. That dude walked into that luncheon with the most confidence I've ever seen an individual have. He had his flight suit on. He had what you want to call that swag. He had everything about him. He sold himself. I would never have guessed that was Todd when he walked in there. From the stories that you guys had told me about how he viewed himself and how he saw himself, that man walked in there as a changed man with the most confidence I've ever seen out of anybody. He sold that entire room on his story, and he walked out of there with a standing ovation, and almost everybody in there had a tear in their eye because his daughter was in the room with us.
Yeah.
So to see him, his daughter, his wife, where they've come from to now, I'm telling you, when you guys hear his story, you're going to be mind-blown because he's got a storied history as a U-2 bomber pilot all the way to flying again. He's been reinstated with Delta Airlines.
Yeah, he's been reinstated. We were worried there for a little bit that he wasn't going to make it back because he got stuck in South Korea. but
Yeah.
fortunately he was able to make it back for the event.
But this tells you the trials and tribulations he's encountered and how he has overcome every obstacle laid before him. And that Sons of the Flag has not given him that, but we've helped him along the way. We've given him that confidence to be able to be the person he was and the person that he wants to be again, right? Burns happen. Guess what? We come in there, help us. How do we help you get to that quality of life that you want, that you're going to get? Our job is to get you back to this quality of life before the accident actually happened. Let's get you back there. And I think that's where Sun stands above everybody else, that we don't just put a Band-Aid on it. We walk through this whole process with you. It's a difficult process, but you have people like Sherry. Obviously, Bird is still, he still does a lot with us, but you have the passion of Bird, you have the heart and the passion of Sherry, you have Landon, you have obviously Greg. We have so many people.
And now we have Zach and his mother, and
yeah, Zach and DJ.
You can't imagine what they've been through, and yet they are still here, willing to put their emotions in the thing, and to be constantly reminded of what they've gone through by helping out these other families. We have a burn survivor group, and we have a family support group that DJ runs, and you're to constantly have to bring up that trauma again to tell somebody that there's an ending, not an ending, but there's a path through this, and there's a group that can help you, and that you're not alone in this situation. I can't imagine having to relive that over and over.
You want to know how it works, and it works because we know it works because in July, when they made the arrest in Zach's case, that whole thing opened back up, that trauma wound opened back up for Zach and DJ and Carl, and they dealt with that trauma again. But guess what? We were there in stride with them step by step, and to see that Zach and DJ, what they have done since then is, I'm telling you, they're going to change the world. Zach is destined for great things. Todd's destined for great things. DJ is destined for great things. We have so many great things lined up with these people, and it's just truly amazing about what's about to happen with Sons of the Flag. And, by us we've heard Zach's story. We got to talk to Zach before, and then we got to hear the update, I think in August. We got to listen to kind of the update without going too much into detail. But, to hear Todd's story and to truly hear what Sons of the Flag is starting to do, because we've talked to some of our doctors, and I got to give a shout out to Dr. E.J. Caterson. I called him the other day, and he helped me out in ways that are unbelievable. From the bottom of my heart, Doctor, thank you so much, because you helped me with the situation that a friend of mine was dealing with, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day. But having people like Dr. Levy, being involved in our organization it's next level. We have some of the best doctors involved with us, and this organization, from when I started, in 2017, kind of just helping out a little bit, has grown tenfold, and just the passion that every single person has for this place it's unbelievable. I can see it in everybody's eyes when you talk to them.
So we're coming up on. So I told Bemis, I was like, maybe if we do more Zooms, I'll upgrade and I'll start paying the $15 a month for this thing, but I'm not paying $15 a month for the single episode. I'm hoping we don't have to do too many of the Zooms, because it's always good to see you, brother, and get to sit down and chat in person. We might have to do some traveling and stuff like that, and take the equipment to some different places. I started doing something with Sheena, and I was out in oh gosh, where was I? I was out in some other city, probably about an hour away, but I brought the equipment out there, and I was able to film it and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm getting a little bit better at it. But we're coming down to 8 minutes. Just to wrap up, man, it's been a freaking nutty year, but it's always a constant reminder of how blessed I am, and how fortunate I am to be surrounded by people like yourself and Sherry and Bird and I don't often get to meet the guys, that we get to help. I don't often get to meet, the Sherry has the most interaction with them, but getting to work with Zach and getting to meet Todd, and I mean, the end of the year is always amazing, because you, especially with Stars and Stripes, you get reminded of these stories. Sometimes you get caught in this influx of just, okay, I got to make some social media posts. Okay, I got to work on some graphics. Okay, I got to, prepare this and do the emailers and stuff. And then you get a nice reminder. You get a nice little boot in your ass to say, yeah, you're doing that. You're doing that for something. You're doing that for a reason. And it's Man, it's I feel like it's another blessed year. I'm coming up on next year's going to be 8 years with the organization. When I hit the Big Ten, I need to start making the big bucks. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I can get a 25-cent raise.
There you go. Same thing, man. I'm going to reiterate. It's been an absolute blessing to even be associated with this organization. And I always tell whenever I talk to Bert about it, I'm just so happy to be a part of this. And he gets pissed because he's like, no, we're all. It's not. You're not. It's not a part of this. You're all the organization.
Yeah.
And I think it's the thing to remember, that this organization is all of us. And I think it's been super cool. This year has been wild. I think next year's gonna be even crazier. But man, just to be able to work alongside you, Landon, and do stuff like this, and just to talk to great people like Don Graves and Sheena, and just people that are truly making differences in everything that they do on a day basis. I know Don Graves, Iwo Jima survivor, the things that they've seen and done. I'm
If
just
you
happy
haven't listened to
wake
that
up.
episode, go
Yeah,
back and listen to that episode. I mean, Don Graves is 98 years old. And so
yeah.
we did an event on Friday, and this is my first time to ever do audio for an event. And so I'm like setting this stuff up. I'm getting lav mics and I'm paranoid. Like, how are they going to sound? So my heart's beating until Don finally speaks into the lav, and he's got this booming voice.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, like I should have known Don was going to
Yeah.
come through clear
Yeah.
as day.
Just don't have Bird talk with that little soft man.
That's why he was a sniper. That's why he was able to sneak up on people and
Yeah.
kill them.
You could never hear him coming. But no, dude,
Oh.
I know we're running out of time here. Thank you guys. Thanks, Sherry, Greg, Bird, the entire task force, DJ and Zach, especially you two. Y'all have meant a lot to
I
me.
love y'all very much.
I hope you guys know how much you mean to this organization and how important you are to this organization, and that your mission is not stopping. So, love you guys. Love every single one of you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. And, I got to throw this in here, sonsoftheflag.org, social media at Sons of the Flag, Instagram, the Twitter, Facebook. Oh, God, the X, not Twitter.
Don't even worry about X. I avoid that at all costs. I'm not touching X. That's just too much. Just Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and just go visit our website.
Yep.
And find the way that you can give back.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. If you ever need us, sonsoftheflag.org, reach out to Landon, Sherry, Greg, myself, anybody that's on there. Again, thank you guys. This has been a truly memorable year, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 has for us. Hopefully I see a lot of you guys at FDIC. I will be there this year.
Man, we better get Zach and DJ out there. I'm fingers crossed that we still have the good relationships over there, because I think, I know Sherry, Sherry's wondering if we should go and stuff like that because of how busy everything's been. Do we have the time to do it, and the resources, because the more people we help out, the less things we can really do.
Yep.
But if I want to get Zach out there because I really want people to meet and see what they've helped us accomplish.
No, for sure. Zach could be a great asset for it. So,
but Bemis, close us out with the usual.
as always, keep the mission safe, keep the mission first, and stay safe. Thank you, guys.
Breathing in diesel exhaust fumes is like walking into a fire without a mask. Over time, those toxins lead to cancer. Protect yourself with MagneGrip, the easiest, most reliable exhaust removal system that features a true 100% seal to eliminate diesel exhaust fumes. To get free grant assistance, visit MagneGrip.com.
The Fire Store, equipping protectors with passion. Every decision the Fire Store makes as a company is about its customers. As the holiday season has quickly approached, explore a wide selection of unique and practical gifts at the Fire Store's Gift Center. Find the perfect presents for firefighters, EMTs, and first responders today. The Fire Store's goal is to get you the gear you need when you need it at prices you can afford. Visit thefirestore.com for everything but the truck and shop its family of brands including Streamlight, MSA, Lion, Fleer, and more.